When I say two parameters as input, I mean when you make a function, def sum, then it means that you have two numbers that you're inputting, or two whatevers, and then that's what you're going to sum together. So maybe we can say def sum xy, and then here we can go ahead and say return x plus y. So now if I run the function here, sum, I can run it because I just ran this, so it will recognize the function sum. And then if you put in parameter 1 comma parameter 2, then it sums them, and it'll just return it. So it doesn't like necessarily print it out if you just run your code here, but when I call the function, it will return that value. You can name your variables anything you want, and we could even have like George. And I can then use like any of these as parameters to the function. And I can even do it this way. If I'm passing in two variables, it will just take the values for those. And if I put in numbers, it will also just take care of those. So no matter what I put in, it's whatever gets passed in first is going to be assigned to X, and whatever is passed in second will be assigned to Y. Even if I did something like strings, if I put in my name, it will add the strings together, which it just squishes them together like that. So anything that I put in as parameters is just going to try to do the plus operation on, and as long as I put in valid input, like things that can be added together, it's going to be fine. If I do Amy and 2, it doesn't know how to add a number with a string. You are asked to do, one of them is returning the sum, so that means that we have this return statement here. And then the other one is we print the sum. So then, if we now, sorry, I called this print sum in the assignment, so to call it print underscore sum. So now if I call this, it's not going to look any different here. It's just going to print it. So what happens here, whether I use sum or print sum, is going to look the same on the surface level. But the difference is that one of them just prints it, the other one will return the value. And if your function returns a value, then you can take that value and you can use it elsewhere. If I said x equals print sum 7, 2, it's gonna say, like, it's going to print the sum still, but it didn't store any value in x. But if I say, I should be using a different variable, I could use like z or something, because x and y are already here. If I do z equals sum 7, 2, then we don't see anything being printed, but now z is like a variable that stores that sum. So when you return something to the function, you can store it in a variable, and when you just print it, it'll print it, but it won't ever assign that to a variable. So once the function's over, you don't have that value anymore.